Hello, welcome back to In Depth. This is going to be part 2 of the 100% guide, so if you haven't watched the first one, make sure to look at that first. If you want to know more about the rules or intricacies, I highly recommend you check out the other video. In this guide, we're going to be going over regret through great journey. So, let's get started. Okay, so for the start of regret, make sure to, do the normal thing, killing all the jackal snipers and whatnot. If you kill 5 in this area that you're supposed to be killing, you should get a checkpoint. But if you don't, get a checkpoint from this area, from like a lead or something. And that checkpoint will allow you to keep a frag. It's not only faster, but yeah, it allows you to keep a frag here. I highly recommend it. The frag is the... it does give you enough height. I think a plasma, you can probably do it with the plasma, but it's like more than likely going to be a lot harder. I recommend doing it with the frag. But once you get the toy, you would revert back and then continue the level normally. Unfortunately, there are situations where you will probably have to use that frag. But onwards to the skull. As per the rules, you need to get the white flash for every single skull. So this includes the assassin skull. This skull is a little unique in the fact that it spawns in every single level, I'm pretty sure. But as well, it's on the map, no matter what. You can do gondola launch or the redirect fly towards it, but there's a trigger that you need to hit by allowing the gondola here to dock. What I'm doing right now is I'm making sure I actually get a checkpoint. I would have done the grenade jump over here. You don't want to get the deload whatsoever, so making sure that you get checkpoints on this gondola, going to this section to allow those hunters to drop down and to not despawn, will allow the gondola to continue forward. If you get a deload in this area, you're going to have to restart the level or force revert yourself to make sure that you get a checkpoint, no matter what. You just need to make sure that this gondola doesn't do gondola launch, essentially. But even if you do get the deload, and you stay right there to be safe, the gondola will go forward, but you will not get the trigger for the assassin skull. But after you're done with this section, you're going to want to line yourself up for the redirect fly.
I need to make a thorough survey.
Oh, you also want to get rid of these drones. That's why having enough ammo is important. And then once you get a checkpoint, you're going to go back here. There's a hard strat that you can go for, which is not getting a checkpoint here, but I highly recommend getting a checkpoint in this area. But you want to just like wait here and wait for a checkpoint. Don't go for the sword fly that I'm going to go for until this gondola is docked. Which it should be docking in a little bit. Alright, so then I get a checkpoint. And then once it's docked, I'm going to kill these jackal snipers. And then the sword fly I like to go for is doing this. Oh, that's my bad. But yeah, that's why I recommend getting the checkpoint. Not only can you die from the jackal snipers, you can also just die like how I did there in some stupid way. I'm just being bad right now. Hold on. You would ride along the ramp there, and then you can land yourself in this general area. Here, you want to also delay your checkpoint to make sure that if you get the checkpoint, you can force revert back to the redirect fly. And then you would force revert here, starting here, and then you can have the jackal snipers kill you. Sometimes it can be a bad shot, so just try to get like a just get them to shoot you. Then you can force revert yourself back there. If by the off chance that you get a checkpoint after the one you just force reverted off of, you might have to just go in there normally, and doing that is a lot slower than force reverting. But yeah, do the redirect fly, and then continue the level from here. For the terminal, you can go this way, as you would like with normal legendary. It would be faster. I think I'm getting lucky. I did get the terminal there. However, I don't recommend doing that. But you can do that, and you would, go the normal route. What I like to do is I like to go up here on the left side, delay my checkpoint a little bit, and then go from here. Depending on your spawns, you may want to do something else. Besides a cancel, you can do a sword fly. But if that leads there, you can go for a cancel. If there's a jackal you could fly off of, you can go off the jackal. But I definitely recommend the strat more, because you can back up onto the little wall there and go to the left, so you can land on over here. You can get a sniper here. I definitely recommend it more than the other strat. I think I was a little slow there. Let's do it again. So yeah, line yourself with the wall and then just fall to the right and then to the left. Get yourself a sniper here. And go through this door. It's a little slower than the other strat, but I highly recommend it more than doing the other strat. So for the toy in that side, there's two shots you can go for. You can go for a grenade jump here. Jump up. I recommend killing that sentinel emitter and getting the toy. Or you can go for a sentinel emitter boost, which is a little harder. But you want to just throw the grenade while you're jumping up, and then jump on the thing here. It's a little tight though, but you can get some crazy speed out of it. With the strat though, you kind of lose the opportunity of having two plasma rifles, which makes this part a little harder. But with any of these strats, if you miss any of them, what you can do is, if you don't like get damage, you can go for this strat. But you can go up here, and you can do a crouch jump onto here. It's a little hard. You might need to go invisible for it. But you can crouch jump up here and get a toy this way. So for any of the strats though, you want to try going invisible. I already went invisible, so I'm going to go ahead and kill the sentinel emitter and then just like kill sentinels going to the piston, because there could be a lot of sentinels in this area, depending on how long you take. For the skull, you don't want to do anything too fancy when going to it. If you see that there's an opportunity for a shotgun boost like this, and he doesn't notice you, just go along. In this case, he did notice me, which is kind of annoying. In this case, you would want to go for a shotgun boost. If they don't notice you, you can go for a shotgun boost here. This one's a little hard, and not in the fact that it's hard to go for, but getting the carrier here for the next shotgun boost can be a little tricky. So you may get too much distance going into it. In that case, that worked out just fine. For the terminal, it's pretty simple. Just you want to make sure that you activate piston first, and then you go for it, so that the piston's already open when you after collecting the terminal. But SI is pretty simple level. Not much to say about it. At the start of quarantine zone, the Sputnik skull that you need to collect is going to be all the way in the back, so you want to take a ghost over here. Get off the ghost, and depending if you have a frag, I'd recommend using a frag, but you can use a plasma to just get a nice boost here. Try to not get a checkpoint here. It's not the worst thing in the world if you get a checkpoint, but this kind of allows you to just get to the section slightly faster. But you can also just restart the level. You can also go for a really stupid strat. I don't recommend this whatsoever, but I'll show what the strat looks like. Oh, dude, the slide. Holy man. I'd probably only go for that for dead runs. It only saves around 5 seconds. So for the terminal, it's going to be behind that wall over there. So you want to boost here, landing, get out of the ghost, and go invisible. And you collect the terminal that way. And you want to get back onto the ghost, and then go take this route over here. One thing to know about this route though, I'm not sure how the triggers work in this area, but I do sometimes get like trigger skip. Not this one, but the later one quite a bit with going that route. But as well as you die, you can just use the checkpoint because it can be a little difficult. For the toy, it's gonna be where you normally do the gondola fly. So what I like to do is line myself up with the points there, and then I'm gonna be crouching. And then when I do the fly, I'm gonna stay crouched and then uncrouch when I get to the slope. So when it shows up around here, I uncrouch, and this should only take a little bit of damage from you. After that point, you also want to go invisible because the flood can easily see you. Something to note about this fly though is that if you hit this wall, I think mostly on season 7, you will die to the wall, like almost guaranteed. So even like the corner or the wall, it will kill you. So that's why you need to slide onto this slope right here. If you somehow miss the fly, you can go right here, and then grenade jump. But you're gonna want to go invisible immediately since the flood can easily see you there as well. Optionally, you can do it on this edge as well. But if you don't want to do the fly at all, you can walk on this platform and then walk on that edge right here to the toy. So once I get to this part here, I'd start walking. Crouch jump to get on this, and then jump here, go invisible, crouch jump, whatever, and then yeah, get the toy this way. So for any of the strats, you can optionally go for a slide jump by jumping up here, and then slide jumping off of that slope there. I didn't get it, unfortunate, but then you would end a level. Before we start Gravemind, I want to talk about how the Angry Skull works in this level. So, if you're familiar with it, once you pick up the skull, you can no longer switch out of your weapons. If you're going to be following the route later on, this shouldn't be an issue because you can just revert back to the other checkpoint that you would be using. However, there's a chance that you can get a checkpoint after this point, and this could be a problem because there's a chance where your weapon order will no longer be beam rifle, sword, and skull. Depending on how you route out your weapons throughout the level, this shouldn't be a problem. However, if you route out your weapons differently, there's a chance where when you pick up the skull, your weapon order will be sword, beam, and then skull. And this happens because the skull acts like a tertiary weapon. Acts like a third weapon. To prevent this, you want to go in the order how you would normally in a ledge run, which is you pick up a needler, which counts as your primary weapon, and then later on you get a plasma rifle. When you exit the first room, you should be coming out with a carbine, and you should have swapped that carbine out with the plasma rifle, which that would have been your secondary. When you get out of the outside section, to get a beam, you're going to swap out the needler with the beam, so your beam becomes your primary. And then when you get out of prison skip, you swap out your carbine with a sword, which becomes your secondary. So that's how you can get your beam to be your primary, and then your sword to be your secondary, and then the skull would be your tertiary, and it would always be in that order as long as you swap in that order. But there could be a case where you get in this order, sword and then beam. So somewhere along the way you might have swapped them wrong. So to fix this, you can swap the sword and then like swap your beam there and then swap with another weapon, and then that should put you back in the right order. You can do this with a Fjord Grunt, or you can do it in this area. So if you're in a situation where your checkpoint is as far back as prison skip, or you get a checkpoint after getting the skull, you can use this information to just continue the level from this point on. Like when going to the terminal, so after the skull you would walk to the terminal, and then from there on you would finish the level. One thing to note is that your YY cancels, they won't work. So when you're like zoomed in, it would switch to the skull, so you need to like triple Y to do that. Or you can do a melee to get out of zooming in. EXR still work, because that doesn't require a swap input. But I'll be going over this level more in depth in another video regarding my skull protector category, where you take the skull to the very end of the level. But for the time being, that's really all you need to know. Just make sure that you don't get the skull in the first place.
Now, starting with post-prison skip, with the deload specifically, you're going to want to make sure that this Marine right here, you kill him either by shooting, sticking him, and then cancel off of the rightmost elite to make sure that you get the deload. This whole process might look a little bit slower, but it is faster for the sake of reverting checkpoints. In the instance you don't get the deload, you're just going to do the normal path, just avoiding the buggers by sticking your head in the wall right here, and then proceed forward when it is safe to. Now you can either cancel off of the brutes here, or you can kill them to guarantee a checkpoint later. And if these elites are also aggroed on you, you want to make sure you kill them as well. Not necessary either way, just as long as you are out of combat before you get to the hunters. Collecting the skull and toy is fairly straightforward. You can either sword fly off of this jackal right here in the tower like this. Make sure you jump over so you get a little bit extra height. And if you are too slow, or you'd rather play it safe, you can simply run down here, making sure these elites are also dead. And if this sniper is also shooting at you, kill him as well. And then you're just gonna come up here to the cliff, or come up the cliff here. Sword fly off of this grunt. Grab the toy and the skull. Now, in the event you take this route and there's some Cortana dialogue that does come in, this dialogue right here, you can wait to grab this skull just so you can revert checkpoint, so you don't have to deal with having to juggle through all your weapons just to be able to sword fly. And just makes it a little bit more convenient. For the terminal, there's a few different sword flies you can go for, and this one in particular I'm about to show only applies if you got this checkpoint up here right before collecting the skull. You just want to line up the skull with this jackal in the tower, if he's still alive, otherwise you are not going to be able to go for this fly. And make sure your backup is against the walls as well. You're not going to get enough distance if you don't. Then you just jump, sword fly, and also spam jump as you're flying, just so you can get a little bit more height, and holding crouch the whole way. Sometimes you can get some distance by holding crouch so you can slide off the beam, but in this case I didn't, so I'm just going to walk off and collect the terminal. Now the other sword fly you can go for is a little bit riskier, taking into consideration that both of these jackals are going to be alive and they can shoot you. But in the event that he's looking around like this and turn around, you can just go like this and ignore the rangers if they do spawn, just like that. And I think the final sword fight you can go for, I personally don't like going for this one just because it's a little riskier because you're out in the open. But right here, you can just go off of this jackal, and yeah, just like that.
So at the start of Uprising, most of the collectibles that you need for this category are at the end. However, one thing you know from doing base legendary is that you want to avoid using nades here at all. However, it does make it a lot easier if you can use nades, and on this category you can, because you're going to be getting nades later on during the armory section. So that, say if there's a brute still like aiming at you, you can throw a grenade there. That's what I like to do. It's a little more lenient on this category. You don't have to save as much nades as you do for base ledge. We're going to be taking a full path. I won't be going over most of it, but just stuff that relates to the category. For this first cancel, we're going to be wanting to go a little differently, to cancel a little bit differently. I like to do it like that so that I can get a headshot off of the jackal here. If I had a grenade, I'd be using a grenade, but just generally kill the brute. When you get to this section here, ideally you should be getting a checkpoint, but for the toy, we're going to be doing a strat that allows us to get a checkpoint before the fly going to the toy. We're doing this because not only does it make it a lot easier because you get a lot more attempts, but like once the phantom flies off, there's really only a backup that's a quote unquote backup that you can go for. Otherwise, you'd be going back over here. So we're gonna go invisible, and then we're gonna want to shoot mostly the jackal, but as well as the brute, so that they can move away. And we kind of want to ram ourselves in this ramp area and wait a little bit. This is gonna allow us to get a checkpoint consistently because what the game's doing, it's checking to make sure that you're safe and that there's no bullets in the air. So waiting there allows the Spectre and the Brutes to like walk in a little forward so that when you get to this area, they won't notice you and shoot you. But yeah, once we get the checkpoint, we can like line up in this area. And then we get like around 2 or 3 opportunities for this fly. Depending on how far the Phantom is, we can go a lot farther than we should. You would want to revert after getting the toy, but if the off chance that you don't get it, you can walk towards this ghost here. If you don't get the fly whatsoever, I'll show the clip, but I'll try it here. You can do a ghost launch to it. Oh, I don't even have a grenade to show it, but I'll show the clip. You can launch over there. It's really hard. It's not practical going forward, but if you want to learn it, you can go for that. That's crazy, man. But yeah, we're gonna continue to the rest of the level up until the terminal. But yeah, you should get a checkpoint before that area. Ideally, you wanna not go too fast because you can't full timer. But yeah, once you have invis here, you're gonna fly off this jackal, go invisible. Even if he notices you, he shouldn't look back in this area. So we're gonna go back here, activate the terminal immediately, and you should get a checkpoint in this area. And we're just gonna walk in this area. There is a chance I've had it happen once where I've gotten shot in. But we're gonna be going in through the armory room to get the skull. So for full gain, you're gonna want to pick up a brute shot and frags and plasmas in this area. You can use the brute shot, do a brute shot jump to get the skull. If you miss it or you go through all 3 brute shot tries, because you can do this 3 times before you actually die. You can line up yourself here. You can like crouch jump and then line yourself up here, or you can just do that. And then you can crouch jump up here to get the skull. How we progress this part, for how you got in this area, the jackals are going to be, there's going to be 1 jackal over here, and then 2 jackals walking in this area, and they won't load in until you open this door. So once you open the door, you're going to let this guy pass, as you can see on the radar. Once he passes on the radar, you can go out, and you can see they're all running here. How you progress this part, depends on what you want to go for. What I like to do is I like to go for a sword fly, kill him, ideally don't get hit like that, and then go invisible, and then you can go for some sword cancels here. I got a little unlucky there. If you get a lot of momentum, you can use the brute shot to go to the end level trigger. Or what you could do is, if you're not comfortable with the fly, you can go invisible here, go off the brutes, then off the ghost. Just like that. For Charity, I won't be going over full path because Dabble already has an excellent guide for full path. But I will be going over some things that he didn't go over. So for the start, you can't go for the carbine strat after getting the sword here, but you can also go for a cancel off of this flood and get a rocket here. You can get unlucky like how I did there. But you also want to get some frags here as well. But yeah, so you want to sword fly here, off the grunts or the flood. Reload the rockets. What I like to do is I throw a plasma, then because it tracks the brutes onto one side, and then kill the brutes here with the rockets. So assuming you didn't start the fight over here by killing up the drones quickly, we'll do a sword fly off of the brute. Make sure to kill him. And what I like to do is I like to throw a plasma there before I activate the lift, so that they get a little deterred. And then I can throw in their plasma. I like to save my frags, but if you have to use your frags, do that. Oh, I'm getting a little unlucky. Alright, there we go. Yeah, it should just deter them a little bit. I got a little crowded there. Sometimes if there's a sniper flood there and I have the opportunity of killing it, I would kill it. Yeah, we're going to be going to the toy. And I'm going to be switching the frags because depending on if you get the spawn, the flood spawn after getting the toy, the frags can be really helpful.
Parasite did not defeat the Forerunners, and it shall not defeat us.
So we're gonna go take this pass onto the toy.
Your deaths will be instantaneous.
Collect the toy, and there is a chance that you don't get this spawn, but it's highly likely that you will get it. But what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to throw a frag at this carrier. I did it a little too late, but yeah, you do a cancel off one of the flood. The spawns can be a little variable, but you would want to throw the frag and the carrier would go out. But do make sure to actually kill everything in this area so that you get a checkpoint for the next fly here. You can die in that section, so getting another checkpoint as well before that section is a good idea. There's not much to say about the terminal, other than the fact that a flood and or a brute can follow you here, so they probably like line up here and you can cancel off with them. Ideally, I wouldn't go for that if you can, because it's really risky to go for. You can also go for, you know, a grenade jump here if you want. Not mandatory, doesn't really save that much time, but you hold X for the skull, and then you'd finish the level from here. So to start a great journey, you're gonna have a brute shot, depending if you chose to use the brute shot strat at the end of Uprising. But it should play the same. Just make sure that you are reloaded, so that you can actually attract the ghosts here. It shouldn't be any different from using the carbine. So for prison fight, to go into the terminal, you're going to want to have frag selected. And you're going to want to use this on the cell for the hunter so that the brutes can get distracted. You're going to go invisible afterwards, and then you're going to wait in this area and shoot the cell. After shooting the cell, you want to go onto the side so that any of the bullets from the brute shots hit the wall. If you walk towards the terminal, you'll probably die to the brute shots. In this case, I also got a plasma grenade, so I just backed up there. You want to activate the terminal, and then you want to kill any brutes here. So you can get the 3 brute quota. If you die, you can just do the normal plasma grenade strat. Plasma grenades also work for opening up the cell, but I choose to use a frag because it doesn't stick onto the brute, so he doesn't move. So for the toy and the terminal, normally in this section, when you have the Seraph, just walk to the doorway to destroy it, so you can wait for the trigger. Normally it's an auto-scroller, but the amount of time it takes to get to the skull and the terminal and then back to the trigger area, then you line yourself up with the Spectre, it does become more of like a time attack. So you do kind of want to go fast in this section. If you're comfortable with it, you can do some slinky flips in this area. To the Spectre. You want to ideally not make as many mistakes here. As long as you just like don't flip over too much. You should make the cycle. We're gonna be going for the toy first, so generally just follow the route that I'm taking. The Spectre is really really unique vehicle in the fact that you can kind of go up 90-degree walls. So you're gonna want to lift your nose up, and then you can just scale this wall here. You want to make sure you slow it down so you don't flip over here. Lift your nose up in this area. And we're gonna be collecting the toy right now. Oh, yeah, so I had a little bit too much speed there. We get out, get the toy, and we're gonna go down more or less the same area, but we're actually gonna go to the left here. One thing to note is that you don't want to boost in this area because you can easily fall timer. Like once you get to this area though, you're kind of free to boost. Going on to the skull, we're gonna want to hold the lift nose button right here so that we can land on the ramp. We're gonna go up to get the skull. And if you're fast enough, you can make it to where you can get like the earliest cycle possible. In my case, I don't think I'm gonna get it because the music has already ended. Yeah, he's already firing the Scarab. I wouldn't risk trying to go for the earliest cycle. I'd make sure that the door explodes. So like once you get over here, you just look in this area, and you want to make sure the door explodes. So door exploded, so now I'm free to go. And then you can finish the level from here on out. And look at that. Landed nice for me. That'll be the end of this video. I want to thank a Space Dino for helping me out with some of the levels on this video. He helped overall with some of the information as well in general with starting the category. So I want to thank him for that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.